The acid rain hit the shattered ruins of Deneb IX's capital like falling knives. Once a city of crystal spires and gleaming towers, now it was a skeleton of ash and bone. Streets flooded with toxic runoff. Winds screamed through the scorched alleys. No one with sense stayed on the surface anymore, unless they had no choice. Lazari had no choice. She clutched her infant tightly under the tattered cloak, the fabric disintegrating faster than her hope. Her once pristine silver skin was streaked with grime, and her eyes, once radiant with starfire, were dimming. Her people were gone. Her bondmate had been vaporized in the first orbital strike. Their home reduced to smoldering wreckage. The coalition never cared. The Human Republic hadn't even blinked. They let the conflict burn through her world like it was disposable. She staggered past collapsed towers and overgrown barricades, her bare feet blistering on the razor-cracked ground. The baby stirred. Its cheeks were sunken, its tiny breaths shallow. The cold was killing them both faster than the radiation. Lazari looked up. The sky was filled with black thunderclouds, and beyond them, the faint shimmer of orbiting vessels. Salvagers, bounty hunters, looters. Parasites who hovered like vultures over dead worlds. She reached a shattered landing zone and collapsed behind a half-buried hoverbike. There, shielded slightly from the wind, she curled into herself and whispered lullabies. Then she wept. Miles above the surface, Elias Drake leaned against the broken console of the halberd, a gutted cargo hauler he'd retrofitted into a mobile repair and rescue unit. He was a Republic deserter, dishonorably discharged, branded a traitor for saving civilians during a botched campaign. Now he wandered war-torn systems, salvaging what he could and helping where he was able. Deneb IX wasn't on anyone's rescue list. No aid. No patrols. The war had moved on. But his scanner pinged. Faint biosignature. 2 to be exact. Buried in the remains of Sector 7 Gamma, one of the hardest-hit regions. The signature was alien Zarnathi if he had to guess. Most had been wiped out or taken to internment camps. No one was supposed to be alive down there. He hesitated. The radiation was still high. His ship's hull shielding was patchy. Supplies were tight. Logic said he should ignore it. But he couldn't. So Elias prepped his suit, sealed the cockpit, and descended through the storm. Lazari heard the engines before she saw the light. Ship. Coming down fast. She rose weakly, shielding her baby with her cloak. Had to be a scavenger. Maybe worse. But if they had a heater, food, medicine, even just shelter from the wind, she limped forward. The ship landed with a grinding shriek. Steam hissed as the hatch opened. A tall figure in a scratched exosuit emerged, holding a scanner. The helmet turned in her direction. Lazari froze. Human. She tensed, holding the baby close, ready to run. But the man didn't raise a weapon. He approached slowly, deliberately, kneeling when he got close. "I'm not here to hurt you," came a voice through his speaker. "I'm here to help." She blinked. Her throat was dry, but the words came out hoarse and laced with venom. "Why? You humans let this happen. You killed my mate. My people." He didn't deny it. Just looked at her with something she hadn't seen in weeks. Guilt. And pity. "I know," he said quietly. "But that baby doesn't deserve to die here. Neither do you." She hesitated. Then the infant whimpered, a sound so weak it broke something in her. She stepped forward. The warmth of the halberd's cabin hit her like a wave. Lazari staggered, almost collapsing. Elias caught her and laid her gently on the medcot. The baby was shivering. Elias rummaged through his limited medical supply, injecting a stim into the infant's leg and placing a heated blanket around both of them. He watched her as she clung to the child, her body trembling not from cold, but from the trauma she tried to suppress. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lazari. I'm Elias." She said nothing else. The storm outside raged on. Over the next 3 days, Elias did what he could. He patched Lazari's wounds, administered hydration therapy, and scavenged edible synth protein from his dwindling stores. The child, whom Lazari named Seth, responded well. Color returned to its cheeks. It began to coo. Lazari, however, remained distant. "You're kind for a killer," she said one night, as Elias was repairing a cracked conduit. "Why?" He looked up, expression unreadable. "I followed orders for too long. Watched families burn. Then one day, I couldn't anymore. I tried to save people. My own side turned on me." She narrowed her eyes. "So now you wander around saving strangers out of guilt?" He gave a half shrug. "Better than doing nothing." That night, she sat beside him while he rewired the NAV module. She didn't speak. But she didn't leave either. On the 5th night, the storm broke, but danger replaced it. A signal came in. Privateer vessel inbound. Not Republic. Not Coalition. Just scavengers who'd shoot first and sell the parts later. "They'll tear us apart if they board," Elias said, checking the scanners. "We can't outrun them. Not with my engine fried." "Then we hide," Lazari said. "There's nowhere to hide." She stared at him, then down at her child. "There's an old Zarnathi comms vault under the capital's south spire. Shielded. Hidden." He hesitated. "You know where it is. I helped design it. Before the war." They looked at each other. "Then we go," he said. The trip was suicide. Radiation pockets flared. Wind gusts knocked the halberd sideways. Twice they nearly crashed. But Lazari guided him through ancient tunnels, weaving between broken support beams and half-flooded passages. Seth stayed wrapped against her chest, sleeping peacefully, unaware of the danger. Finally they reached the vault. A thick metal slab blocked the entrance. "This is it," Lazari whispered. Elias scanned the door. "Manual override." She placed her palm against a faded panel. Symbols lit up. The door opened. Inside was silence. Thick shielding. Broken consoles. But warmth and no radiation. Now. They spent the next 4 days in the vault. Elias repaired an old generator using scrap from his ship, giving them power and heat. Lazari scoured the databanks for anything salvageable. Maps, food stores, even ancient Zarnathi lullabies to soothe Seth. They didn't speak much at first. But survival bred cooperation. And cooperation grew into something unspoken. A rhythm. Trust. She caught him watching her feed Seth, his eyes soft. He noticed the way she curled slightly toward him at night, no longer flinching when he sat close. On the 8th night, as they sat together beneath the dim emergency lights, she asked him quietly, "Do you think I'm a monster?" He turned. "What?" "For hating your people. For what they did." He was silent for a long time. "No," he finally said. "But maybe one day, you won't need to hate anymore." She looked down at Seth. "Maybe." Trouble returned on the 9th day. The privateers had tracked them. Heat signatures, perhaps. Maybe even a signal spike from the old generator. Either way, they were coming. Elias stood at the vault entrance, rifle in hand. His exosuit was patched, and he'd jury-rigged a defense turret using leftover fusion cores. Lazari came up beside him, carrying Seth in a sling. "You'll die if you stay here," she said. "Let me distract them. I can lead them away through the tunnels."